This is Served with me, Andy Roddick. Please hit subscribe. We drop new episodes every week.
Obviously, after the match, Zverev was very dejected, and he's made some headlines, with a comment that he had. And granted, the whole context of the post-game presser was, I played a horrible match. That was the worst. Anybody could have beat me today. I played so bad.
Yeah.
I came in not feeling great. But ultimately, with all that, he did set up acknowledging this. And Sean, why don't you play it?
Well, I think there's a big gap between Sinner and everybody else right now. It's quite simple. I think there's a big gap between Sinner and everybody else, and I think there's a big gap between Alcaraz, myself, maybe Novak, and everybody else. I think there's two gaps right now, but it's difficult to say that there's not a gap between Sinner and everybody else if he hasn't lost a match in how many Masters events since Shanghai. He hasn't lost a match in almost 9 months. I think you have to admit that there's a gap between him and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm ready to take the leap where there's like a gap between him and Carlos that's sizable, which I think was kind of what he was saying. He's saying him and Carlos probably are closer together than Carlos and Sinner is what it sounds like. Yeah, I don't see a grouping of one and then three.
Mm-hmm.
I see a grouping of two and then the rest. Generally speaking, but I mean, he's not wrong. Like he's not wrong. Now but like matchups matter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Would Novak rather play Sinner? I don't know. Sinner or Alcaraz right now? I know the answers for Zverev. I mentioned a couple times, I talked to him this offseason. I really enjoyed talking tennis with Zverev because a lot of tennis players that you talk to, listen, it's in our job title to be in denial if things aren't going well. Right? I need more time. I just need it. I'm closer than you think. Like we are experts at lying to ourselves. Zverev, I talked to him. He is so eyes wide open. He's like, listen, I understand that my career is going to be defined if I can win the last 2 matches of a slam.
Yeah.
He goes, he mentioned the U.S. Open final. He's like, I choked that away. I mean, he is like, I don't know. It makes it really easy to cover him because he says everything first.
Yeah.
He
just spits it out.
And people are like, he shouldn't be saying that. I'm like, it's reality though. Like, I don't know. Like, if he sits there and goes like, oh, there's not that much of a difference, I was probably guilty of that. I wanted to lie to myself all the time.
Well, I think Feast, even after his quarterfinals match heading into the semifinal, was like laughing. He's like, I mean, you guys have been watching this guy play. He's like, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was
that's kind of that's the vibe in the locker room is like, I need to come out, and he's basically what Zverev's saying is like, I can't even remotely think that I can play shitty tennis and compete.
No.
Right? He can play some shitty tennis and compete.
Yeah.
Shitty, I'm air quoting, but
yeah.
He can play not the best tennis for himself and still beat a majority of the field.
Mm-hmm.
He gets crushed by Sinner if he plays bad tennis.
I feel like, Carlos is more of an artist, right? And artists sometimes like the brush goes wonky, and then but like when it all goes together, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like Sinner's an algorithm. It's like input, output, input, output, input, output. And
not in a negative way. People say that in a negative way.
Fuck no, not in a negative way.
It's incredible.
No,
right?
It's incredible. But now he's not just an algorithm. He's like AI. It's like, oh, I learned this new thing.
Yeah.
So I have the answers quicker. Like you can't say like he only does. Algorithm makes it seem like it's one way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we opened the show with the variants. Like he's learning in real time and changing and morphing in real time. And it doesn't seem like he has off days. It doesn't seem like, okay, so that I think his temperament is more like Pete, right? Where you kind of knew what you were getting. Any display of emotion outside of what you normally saw was newsworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlos feels a little bit more like, the magicians, the McEnroes, the Agassiz, when he's all in and dialed. I don't know that there's definitely no one, I don't think there's anyone better, and there's no one more fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as just like excited about just another tennis tournament, I don't know that there's anyone out there like Sinner. Sabalenka is in that conversation now. Like she does the same thing a lot. I mean, she's consistent. I mean, obviously it was like shocking news when she lost a match to someone who played great in Madrid with Baptiste. But yeah, I don't know how you get out of it. And if you're Zverev, I'm curious what the conversations are in-house. And he made a couple of adjustments early in that match where he was coming in a little bit, did the right thing, and then missed a volley and missed an overhead. So it's like, shit, I'm getting what I need to do, and I just missed it. And all of a sudden, it's 15-40, and you get broken, and then Sinner doesn't give a lot of matches back, right? I know the big one, people are gonna be like Roland Garros, but he didn't play his way out of that, even though Carlos came back. Like, he didn't. I've seen what like letting a match go looks like. I've done it a million times famously, and that wasn't the same. So listen, we'll stop talking about him when he stops winning, which doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Can you talk about that kind of experience going through, having somebody that kind of seemed to have, your cards and had you figured out a little bit? But
who are you talking about?
There was a guy. I think he's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah. Not unanimous.
You beat him there.
Yeah. Where?
To the Hall of Fame. You got there first.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Been in the Hall of Fame for years.
Yeah.
What a loser.
What a loser.
Yeah. So you get to a certain, I'm glad you brought that up. You get to a certain level in tennis where it's like, okay, you're one in the world, but then the superheroes come along and there's a divide. And I find myself relating to Zverev a little bit because it's like, he's better than he was. I mean, he's playing so much better than he was last year. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't know that this isn't the best version we've seen of Zverev, but things change, right? And people get better. And 8 years ago, he didn't have to deal with these two guys that were taking the greatest hits from the big three and applying it to themselves, right? And I'm watching it, and I can relate because I'm going, all right, Zverev doesn't like to serve and volley, or he doesn't serve and volley. I don't know if he likes to, but he doesn't very often. I'm going, I don't know. Does he come out and just serve and volley every point?
Like, just mix it up, just give it a shot?
Something. Like, does he, baseline to baseline, you remember what I said a couple weeks ago? If I was neutral against Fed or one of these guys, I was behind, right? I could sometimes, against most players, I could sneak my way out of it or find space or find a ball flight or find trajectory to at least keep myself in it. Neutral is behind against, 10 guys on tour, and especially against 2 or 3 guys on tour. And what I see from Zverev is like he would have to play completely outside of his comfort zone. Well, which is what I found myself going through. I'd play Roger sometimes, and I was like, I'm going to serve and volley on every ball, or I'm going to try to go line earlier, which I don't like to do on my backhand, or I'm going to, if he hits that little chip, I'm going to try coming in. If he hits that little chip, I'm going to stay back. So I'm stress testing all these things, and I have no belief in them. I'm hoping they work. I'm hoping they work for a half hour before he figures it out, and then I have to try something else. And that's the spin cycle that I see Zverev in. And I can certainly relate to it. It's like, okay, I serve big. Well, Sinner is one of the only guys that can stand 8 feet behind the baseline, return my first serve that's going 135, and he has the length to cover the angles that I'm creating. And then once you get neutral, it's just like it just wears on your belief system. And I when I'm watching Alex right now, I'm like, gosh, I hope, because people probably tune in, they might see him win a semi, but they're tuning in for the final and they're seeing that. It wasn't a great effort.
It's funny you bring up Sinner's length. There was a serve, and I forget which game it was, but it was Zverev pushed him out wide. He literally reached out. Yeah. Sinner reached out max full length, chips it back towards the middle, and then Zverev pounds the ball through the middle, and the Sinner just puts it back towards him, and like Zverev just like dropped his head. He was like, ugh.
Like, well, when you're
what the hell are you supposed to do?
When you're practicing drills, and if you're Zverev and you're 6'7", and you go, okay, wide, first ball, torch to the corner.
Got him.
You don't even work on the third ball.
Yeah, you're like, got him.
Yeah. Because Earth has said that works. And now it's like he's swallowing up space, and then it just builds in frustration.